Welcome to the Kyber Show, episode 6. We're covering week 2 of season 11 today. Admiral Piet is live in this week of GAC and is popular in a few different teams: Imperial Troopers, anti-ray counters, and I've seen some others, but those seem to be the most common. We'll show you one of them as our second fight today. It's quite interesting. Let's get to the fights. The first match we have for you today is Darth TRAYA, Darth Sion, Darth Nihilus, Sith Empire Trooper, and Wat versus JANGO, Boba, Bossk, Enfys Nest, and Dengar. This is actually a more dangerous match than you might think at first. JANGO and Boba both put out significant damage, and if the turn order on the team is set up well, they'll activate their contract quite quickly. The goal here is to keep offense up from Bossk dispelled and to kill JANGO and Boba as quickly as possible. It's very likely you lose Wat and perhaps someone else to execute or shrapnel blast, but hopefully no more than that. The fight starts with who to put shield tech on. Sion's usually the best choice to split up the damage since Boba, JANGO, and Nest all ignore taunt. Those three go. Bossk goes, does an assist. Boba does his Death from Above. Let's pause for a moment here. Who should Wat cleanse? TRAYA's unique Lord of Betrayal will cleanse each Sith ally at the beginning of their turn, but it costs 5% health for each buff that this unique removes. So Wat, that makes the most sense to cleanse Sith Empire Trooper, the most bang for the buck. But it's probably better to take the debuffs off of Nihilus to keep him as healthy as long as possible. He takes it off of Sith Empire Trooper, no issues with that. Now Darth Nihilus goes and uses Drain Force to reduce his Annihilate cooldown and to increase their cooldowns. Isolate on Bossk, of course. Sion goes with Torment to remove the offense up. It's very nice. Now, Nest is pinging away. JANGO double taps, and their contract is active. Now, Wat will put weapon tech on Nihilus. That's a smart choice. Doesn't have any debuffs, so he can, or doesn't have any daze or burning, so he can gain turn meter, and it helps for him to go faster. Now he's targeting anybody. There's no active buffs for him to remove. And Nest keeps banging away. Okay, let's pause for a moment here with TRAYA. She has Saber Storm. This is the first time she's used a damaging skill since the beginning of the match, so this is still within 2 turns of gaining her stacking offense. She has about 75% bonus damage now due to Nihilus and Sion being hit or debuffed. So she has really 3 choices: Boba, JANGO, or Dengar. Because it's most likely to do fatal damage to anybody it hits with her Saber Storm, especially since there's a 4th hit since the target has a buff. The only correct choice here is JANGO, because he will not actually die. He has damage immunity, but the ability block will stick on him, hopefully, and prevent him from doing Shrapnel Blast. If she kills Boba or Dengar, both of them will resurrect since they activated their contract. Let's see what happens here. So, looks like she does go for Dengar, and he gets wiped out, but he's alive again. Executes, and there goes Wat with Shrapnel Blast. Now let's pause again a moment for Darth Nihilus's Annihilate choice. There's really only one choice here again, and that's JANGO. You could go for Nest, but Nest cannot use Impact for another 2 turns, and her auto attacks don't do much. She's not stacking extremely quickly, although she is stacking little bit by little. Boba doesn't have Execute for a few more turns, and doesn't hit as hard on his basics as JANGO does. So the correct choice here is to execute JANGO. looks like going for Nest instead. Now here comes Boba to double tap Sith Empire Trooper to death. And oh, there Nihilus, because he has the weapon tech, he was able to kill Boba, and Boba wasn't able to be revived with his Bounty Hunter's Resolve. So it's just Jango. Look at how hard Jango hits. He's a beast. And finally, we'll have Nihilus. Yeah, there's really nobody to isolate except Bosk, and Nihilus will go and eat Jango, and that's the end of the match. It's just cleanup. Tough match. Bounty Hunters are quite good under Jango. They put out a lot of damage. Fight number 2. This is the Piet match. So it's Darth Vader, Thrawn, Watt, G12, Admiral Piet, G12, Imperial Probe Droid, versus Rey, Poe Dameron, Finn, the OG Finn, Scavenger Rey, and Holdo. These Rey counters with Piet are new, especially when he's a G12. There's not so many of them out there to judge. He brings a Dispel from light side enemies only, Admiral's Trap, which boosts damage and potency, and when Vader's on the team, he gives Vader 20% more accuracy, potency, and tenacity. And these counters, he primarily serves to remove RNG from resists and evades, and speeds up the Rey kill, almost guaranteeing it before the first ultimate. The match starts. Weapon tech goes on Darth Vader as per normal. And let's pause right here at the beginning. This is potentially the most important move of the entire match. So he's targeting Poe when he activates Merciless Massacre, and he has weapon tech on him, so Watt will assist. Now, normally in these matches, you target Rey in order to get more debuffs, because Watt applies 2 debuffs and removes 15% turn meter with his binary basic. But in this case, because if you notice the TM of everybody on Rey's team, it's very possible that Poe, if Darth Vader doesn't remove turn meter as he's going around Merciless Massacre, Poe would go next. And if Poe goes and uses Resistance Bravado, his AoE, his taunt and AoE TM removal, he could remove 25% turn meter from every member of your team. So this is a very heads-up play and removes the potential of having RNG apply to your match and screwing it up. So then he goes again, applies Force Crush to remove more TM due to Vader's leadership, and now goes around the table applying ability block on everybody. He uses Force Crush again before it's Watt's turn again to give the tank tech to Thrawn. It's always a good choice. You could give it to Piet since he's relatively small, but Thrawn oftentimes takes a lot of hits from the Resistance allies, so it's a smart choice. Here, this is a bit of a waste. There's no real need to remove any buffs. Thrawn could fracture and save Grand Admiral's command for later, but not a huge deal. He fractures Rey. We continue on, and in this case here, Piet uses Imperial Ambition, which places Mark on Thrawn, so he'll be targeted. This makes sense now that he has the shield generator, so he does his counterattacks. Now we have Vader go again, executes Poe, few hits. Now we're going to have Piet, Grand Admiral, or Admiral Piet use Suborbital Strike, which is actually clever. It removes the speed up that Thrawn gave to Rey and puts ability block on her, and removes all the other buffs as well. And we have Vader going and using Merciless Massacre once more. A few more dots on Rey. And there he goes, 675k. Those 5 stacks of Emperor's Trap made a big difference. It's 6%, so another 30% on top of his Merciless Massacre. The rest of the fight just clean up. Great fight, great win, and really almost perfectly executed. Piet's a very, very useful character. I think we'll see a lot more of him in the future. Great fight. Fight number 3 is our fight of the week. It's Darth Revan, Fallen Bastila Shan, Darth Malak, Thrawn, KYLOREN Unmasked versus Supreme Leader Kylo, First Order Stormtrooper, First Order Officer, General Hux, and Sith Trooper. This is a very, very tricky fight, primarily at the beginning. Your tank, in this case KYLOREN Unmasked, must survive a hit from Supreme Leader Kylo and the assist he's going to get from Sith Trooper. Then Shock also needs to land on the enemy's tank, Stormtrooper, to allow SLK access for your own DR and Thrawn. The rest of the fight primarily depends on which debuffs land and how much DPS your team is able to put out. Let's check it out. The beginning of the fight will determine a lot. How will KYLOREN Unmasked stand up to Supreme Leader Kylo and Trooper? It worked great. Now he takes another turn. Finally, it's your turn. You have 4 guys alive, all at low health. The Shock landed from Torture. That's excellent. And Malak survived the assist from Trooper, assisting First Order Officer. And now Malak has his first bonus turn from Jaws of Life. Thankfully, also his Gnawing Terror unique feared both Sith Trooper and First Order Officer. So he goes after Hux, makes sense. Now he went and feared everybody else except Supreme Leader Kylo, obviously, and fractured him. Now Fallen Bastila Shan goes and applies buffs everywhere, and now it's a matter of killing Trooper and then most likely Hux. So he goes after Trooper and attacks twice since Shock is active. And now Fallen Bastila Shan can do a ability block or a Wild Lightning on Sith Trooper. In this case, since Supreme Leader Kylo has so little TM, it makes sense to do the Wild Lightning. It does kill Sith Trooper, that's excellent. Now there's just Hux left. So here we go and do a Force Storm from Darth Revan. Now we do an ability block on Supreme Leader Kylo. Swaps again. Basics on Darth Revan, trying to get him down. Fracture expires. Let's see what Fallen Bastila can do with her Force Storm once more. Great. First Order Officer is down. Look at all those debuffs on Supreme Leader Kylo. Offense down, critical chance down. Ability block. He only did a basic that barely touched Malak. And just like that, the second fracture goes down and the fight is basically over. Very, very tricky to manage at the beginning, and you need to have some RNG on your side to make sure that First Order Stormtrooper is feared or shocked. But wow, what a great fight. Very rare to see those. Excellent work. Thank you for watching another episode. If you have any feedback or any ideas on how we can improve or adjust and make it more interesting for you, please let me know or let us know in the comments below. Good luck in your GAC this week, and we'll talk to you next week.